Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1950 Royal KMG vintage desktop typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Has a wide carriage. I believe it's about 13 3/4 long on the platen and almost 14 inches on the platen, but the entire um, clearance there is 15 inches. So it advertises as a 15-inch carriage, but you only have about 13 3/4 of writing space on it. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the pages straight. I'm just going to line that up with the edge of the platen. And this is the paper bail that sits on top. It's got 3 adjustable rollers. And your typical platen's about 9.5 to 10, I believe. I haven't measured one in a while, but about 3 or 4 inches. This is about 3 or 4 inches wider, so it's pretty significant. The margins are magic margins, so say you wanted the left margin right there where the cursor is, then you just flip this switch and it'll send the margin magically to that spot. If you want it closer to the edge, you hold the carriage release and the magic margin at the same time. On the left, you technically don't need to hold the carriage release because you can push it without holding it, but as a rule, muscle memory, I just always do that on both sides. Same concept if you wanted the right margin, so wide camera, wide carriage here, back behind the, up here on the top right, and the cursor's right there, you just flip it and it sends it to that spot. If you want it on the edge, you hold the carriage release, which is on top of the knob, and the magic margin at the same time. And I'm just going to put it right there on the edge and then push it back. So now we have maximum clearance on this page. And you can almost fit 2 pages on this. I think a lot of people use this for art, so they can type actual real characters on somewhere on their art. And they usually have, I mean, obviously art's usually way wider than your typical page. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. Hit this line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 2, or 3. Right now we have it on single, but if you want double, you just flip that switch forward. It skips 2. One more, it skips 3. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. A switch from black to red is a switch on the right side here. Red indicator on the left means you print the bottom portion on the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. If you move it all the way over and unlock it with this little unlock thing, and then you can move it all the way over, and it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. And it has a little key lock there on purpose so that doesn't accidentally slide over. And then you think something's wrong with the machine because it's not printing right. So we're going to move that over for red. Very impressive machine. This is a very powerful machine. You can really feel when you hit the keys. That sentence that I typed, I wasn't hitting it that hard. I'm used to typing on portables. That's why it's a little faded. So you do have to hit these keys kind of hard, and even though it's on all the way down on 0 touch control. Just a really high, I don't know what the word is for it right now. I can't think of it. It's just for office work usually, but it's just super powerful. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page or else it won't load correctly. This whole thing weighs about 40 pounds. It's super big and heavy, and this carriage is massive. It's not easy to ship these, by the way, so if you find one of these for sale on eBay or Etsy, you got to make sure that the seller is an experienced typewriter shipper, or else these things break like glass because they're made out of cast iron. I'm going to put this color selector back in the middle and got a shift on each side, a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again, backspace on the top left. Very nice. Tab on the right side. I think we got tab set on 10 space intervals. So I'm just going to go through and clear each one of those by hitting the tab clear button on the left side. So now we don't have any tabs set, but I always like to keep one set somewhere in the middle so that way when you hit the tab button, it doesn't go all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. So I just hit that tab set button at that spot, and now I'm just going to hit the tab button, and it's going to stop at that spot. You can set as many tabs as you want on this model. Below that is the margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that margin release button. It will allow you to go all the way to the end. Pop the hood open. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling counterclockwise to the left. If you want to switch the direction, you flip the switch here, and it pulls to the clockwise to the left. And I want to keep it going to this side. This switch here, we'll put it in the middle so it doesn't take up any ink at all. And I think that's just mostly so when you're moving the carriage, it doesn't waste any ink, because when you move the carriage without that, it will pull the ribbon, as you can see there. So if you want to just mess with, like if you're trying to get to a spot, you might just want to hold that so you can save ink. On the right side of the machine is the touch control, and the more you tighten it, righty tighty, lefty loosey, the more tension you're going to build with your keys. So you just do have to hit them harder when you have high, which it's already got a high tension on it. So I like to have it on low on something like this. This is your carriage release on top here. Very nice. Carriage release on the left. And this is the line space, disables the line spacing. When you turn the knob, if you flip that up, it disables it, so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it down, you get the clicks, each one of those clicks is one space. Same concept with this button here. If you push that in, it's disabling the spacing. Let it go, you get the clicks. And then the page gauge is on the inside of the left platen area. And typically when you load a page, this one actually says set. The Smith Coronas will be a little notch, but this one just says set. And you just want to line that setup with this here. Sorry. So it says set, line up right there with that, and it'll warn you when you're getting close to the end of the page. So that's what that does. That's the end of the page. Well, as you're feeding it through, it starts to warn you. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.